Hey y'all, welcome to today's video. This is Blind Buy Chronicles, and I think we're on volume 6. This is a series I started to share with you the full bottles that I purchased and my experience with them, whether I liked them, whether they worked out, whether I bombed out with them. A little bit of a disclaimer for this particular video. I do have a few that I sampled before I purchased, but as I've said before, sampling can sometimes be really different than the actual experience when you purchase a bottle and have an opportunity to do like an all over day wear. So I have a few in here that I'd like to share what the actual experience was like with the bottle versus the sample. And I also have 2 in this lineup that were gifted to me by brands, which I will share with you. So let's kick off with a fragrance that I've actually passed on purchasing for a number of times. And I'm not sure why, because I liked it when I sampled it. It's Alien Goddess Intense from Mugler. So this smells quite a lot like the original Alien, not identical in that this one I think is very heavy on vanilla, but the jasmine that's in here reminds me a lot of the original Alien jasmine. There's also coconut and something a little woody. I would say also, if you're familiar with the concept of solar notes, which is really a difficult thing to describe. When I think of solar, I think of what the air smells like on a super hot day. Maybe that's right, maybe that's wrong, but that's what I'm going to go with for this video. I get some of that in here too. I enjoy this fragrance. I think this is prettier on skin and longer wearing than perhaps what I thought it was going to be when I sampled it in store. So I'm really glad that I have this. You know that Alien is one of my top 10 fragrances and was my wedding day scent choice. And I have a lot of the Alien flankers and so forth. I really like this whole line. So take that for what it's worth. And I think I've talked about this next fragrance in a video before. And if I have, forgive me, I think it was maybe one of the monthly fragrance awards, but it's Narciso Rodriguez Musc Noir Rose. I always want to call it Musc Rose Noir in the pink bottle. I really enjoy the musk from Narciso Rodriguez in most of the bottles. I wasn't so crazy about the white bottle and the black bottle, the ones that are shaped like this, the rectangular ones. The cube bottles I really like, especially the white one. That's another top 10 favorite of mine, the original Narciso. This one I really enjoy as what I consider to be a very sensual musk. It surprised me a lot. There's rose and tuberose and plum, so there's like a hint of fruitiness and that beautiful floral aspect. The rose is a very soft linear rose. It's not sharp in your face like it can be in some other fragrances. So rose is one of those notes that I don't love in all fragrances. So my rose collection is small because of that. This is one that I really like. The musk in here is really beautiful. It's soft, it's sensual. I think it's pretty. I have to say my husband isn't super crazy about this one, but I really like it and I'm glad that I finally picked it up. I think it's a very feminine, lovely fragrance for days that you want to feel ladylike, put together, but you don't want to scream with your fragrance. Really, really nice choice. So this was a win. This fragrance has been out for a bit and people don't talk about it as much as they used to, of course, when it was first released. I mean, that's the case with any fragrance, except that sometimes fragrances will have like a resurgence and become popular again, even if the popularity part of it has been dormant for a year, 2 or 3. This is, what are you called? Marc Jacobs Perfect Intense is the official name. The full bottle has a much more extravagant cap than that. So that's the only regret of not getting the full bottle. I think this is a 1 ounce here that I purchased. And the reason that I picked this up, I have sampled this in store before. My YouTube friend here, Liz Tolbert, mentioned it on her channel. If you haven't checked out Liz, I will link her below. Go check her out. If you remember the video where I shared my reflections on my channel and I mentioned that I want to watch people who I connect with and I think are authentic, really nice people, like probably in real life that I'd want to have dinner with in real life, Liz is among them. Hey girl, hey! Liz's channel is really lovely, wonderful person, beautiful family, and she's really genuine on her channel. I enjoy her reviews and I look forward to her videos. Anyway, she mentioned really loving this on her channel, and I think she was making her way significantly through a bottle of it, and I thought, maybe I should revisit that again, and I ended up picking up a little 1 ounce. I'm glad that I did. On my recent wear of this, the word that I would use for this fragrance is intriguing. So it's a win for me. It's one that when I sampled in store, I hemmed and hawed about. I waffled about it. It's supposed to have a really prominent almond note. And I would say that at one point I did smell that in this fragrance when I sampled it, like it opens up with a nice almond. But really what this amounts to is a fruity floral. There is jasmine and a narcissus note, if I'm not mistaken, in here. And narcissus can smell hay-like and a little bit green. And I do get that in here. So I would say that this is a little bit in the sort of tart, sharp direction, but in ways that appeal to me. Sandalwood in here to balance this out. I find this to be a pleasant, fun, uplifting fragrance that I would wear when I want to be light and bright and not take myself too seriously. It's not like a heavy, heady fragrance, also not immature or juvenile in any way. It's a fun one. So this is a yes. I have had a travel spray of this next bottle, and I've gone through the travel spray. I complained about the travel spray because it doesn't last long, and that's my one complaint, because it is one of the most gorgeous florals out on the market. People sleep on this. They don't talk about this a lot, maybe because it doesn't last long, or maybe just because they have not discovered it. So there aren't very many fragrances for which I will forgive the longevity issue, but this is one of them. It's Flower Market by Maison Margiela. Look how beautiful the pink juices. The way I describe this fragrance is it smells just like you stuck your nose in a very fresh bouquet of flowers. They were just put together at the florist. In fact, the smell that you get when you walk into a floral shop, that beautiful, uplifting, bright, fresh, slightly green floral smell is exactly like to the letter what this smells like. Very photorealistic for a floral bouquet. And wow, just like what a pretty fragrance for spring, for summertime, or in the winter when you need something a little bit brighter and uplifting and you're sick of all your heavy, spicy, ambery, leathery kinds of fragrances. Try something like this. Really beautiful, really feminine. Again, my only complaint is you're lucky if you get a few hours out of this. But man, are those few hours so pretty if you are into white florals. It's like a melange of white florals with hints of green. One of the most beautiful florals out on the market, if you ask me. So glad that I finally got a full bottle. Why did I buy a full bottle with poor longevity? Because I found it on deep discount. And I'm glad that I did. Normally these bottles retail for, I think it's in the $130 range. And I got this for $70 something, which I'm totally happy with because the smell is so beautiful in here. So this is a big yes for me. I purchased this next fragrance for nostalgic reasons. It's one that I wore in high school quite a bit, and some of my friends wore it in high school. And I can't believe that I bought it again. And it's called Tea Rose, officially from the Perfumer's Workshop. And I don't remember if that was the original name of the company. If you wore this in the past, or if you wear this now, drop us a note in the comments and let us know. So I promptly moved this up to my vintage shelf. I have to admit that this is not a fragrance that I don't want to smell like this every day. I don't want to smell like this often. If you like this, if you love it, apologies for my brash comments about it. This smells to me very much like potpourri. It's a really nice potpourri. I have no problems with potpourri smells. I just don't know that I want to smell like that. It's like a vintagey rose kind of scent. And it's to me super rose dominant in a way that just doesn't appeal to me right at this point in my life. I like Atomic Rose, for example, from Initio as a rose scent, the one I just mentioned before, Musc Noir Rose, where the rose is an actor. Maybe it can be a main actor, but it's not the only actor. This one here, I would say the rose is the main actor. It's like a one-woman show, if you will. And that's not my zhuzh at this point in my life, but boy, was it fun to purchase this again. If you do like rose dominant scents, if you like a good potpourri smell and you want to smell like that, which look, nothing wrong with that. Here's an affordable one. This I think I found for $12 or something, and it's a 4-ounce bottle, so it's huge. Makes a great air freshener. And look, I don't mean that in a bad way, but I do like the scent. I just don't want my skin to smell like this. I might freshen up my linens with this and that kind of thing. And boy, was it fun to smell it again for nostalgia's sake. Next up is Amethyst Haze from Carolina Herrera. I've been hunting this bottle down. This is a hard one to find, but you all know I love the Confidential line from Carolina Herrera. These bottles are simply gorgeous, and with little exception, I think most of them. There's a Myrrh Assoluto, is that what it's called? One that I tried and I like, but I don't think I want a full bottle just because I have others that smell like that in my collection, but that's nice too. This one, Amethyst Haze, I don't know that if I knew what this smelled like, I would have purchased it for myself per se. However, it is fantastic on my husband. And for that reason, this is a win. So it's maybe a meh for me individually, but a win for my husband. Would I wear this? I might. I don't know that I would reach for it above other fragrances that have similar notes. This has been touted as a vanilla and coffee and lavender fragrance that smells better than Coffee Break from Maison Margiela. I just disagree. I don't think that they're anything alike, in my opinion. This to me is a masculine leaning fragrance that is heavy on lavender, yes, patchouli and woodiness. I get little vanilla and I get very little coffee in here that would give you the impression that this is unisex and wearable, you know, easily wearable by people that also like more feminine fragrances. This is in the masculine territory, both feet planted over there, in my opinion, gorgeous in its own right. But I think that some of the reviews that I've heard on this are nothing like what my experience with it was. So lavender, patchouli, woodiness, sexy on my husband. He's worn it several times and I really enjoy it on him. So in that sense, this bottle is a win, but it will not be on these shelves, at least not in the immediate future. We can always change our mind or our taste change, and I might lean in this direction. So that's that for Amethyst Haze. I think I might have talked about this one in a previous one of these videos. I'm not sure. So if this is a repeat, forgive me. But I'm just going to say that I haven't and that it's new to you through me. Cremo Palo Santo Eau de Toilette. Look, y'all, if you like a Santal 33-ish kind of a scent, but maybe would prefer not to have whatever, well, people might pick it up in here too, the pickle juice thing. I think there's just a segment of the population that when they smell that kind of sandalwoody type of scent, get the pickle juicy sort of thing. Now this is Palo Santo, of course, which is different than sandalwood. A beautiful fragrance. Let me tell you, when my husband wears this, I'm always like, what are you wearing? Like I've never smelled it before, right? I know I've smelled it, but I don't remember what it is. And he'll go, it's the Cremo one. And I'm like, ooh, beautiful, sexy, long-lasting fragrance. On the masculine side, but not quite as masculine as, say, Amethyst Haze. This one is very wearable by me. I also have fragrances that smell like this, so I'm not running to try this for myself. But I would say if you like a Palo Santo scent, if you like a Santal 33-ish kind of a scent, and you're looking for an affordable alternative that does not compromise on quality in terms of the scent, how you experience it, this is a stunner. And I think you can find this in the $20 to $30 range. So this is a huge win overall for affordable gems. In fact, I've got an affordable fragrance video that will be coming up soon, and you'll see this one in there. I'm really sad about the next one. I can't say that it was a complete blind buy because I have smelled this on people, although I will say it's been a really long time since I've smelled this on folks, probably 15 years or so, something like that, maybe more. It's Armani Code, you all, and I'm sad because my bottle I'm not showing to you because it went to Perfume Graveyard. It's in the Perfume Cemetery because when I unboxed it, and the sad part is I purchased this with a gift card from my family for Christmas, and I was all excited to get it, opened it, took it out of the box, and it was one of those numbers where I took it out of the box and somehow it just kind of slipped out of my hands, and you could see it happening in slow motion, like Chariots of Fire, except with tears on the song. And it just did one of these like 10-point fumbles in your hand, and you kept thinking you were going to catch it, all slow motion, until finally it very sadly crashed into a million pieces on my bathroom floor. And I can't tell you the visceral, guttural wail that came out of this mouth when that happened. One of the saddest moments of the week. Let's take a moment to wish it well in its heavenly journey. May it rest in peace. This fragrance is gorgeous. People have complained about the reformulation. I don't know, y'all. I can't even keep up with all this reformulation stuff. It smells good, all right? It smells like orange blossom and florals, and it's sensual and cozy. Very alluring, very alluring. It's one of those designer fragrances. I don't care what kind of niche comes out here on the market. Men love themselves some Armani Code. Put that on, it's a man killer, period, end of story. I will have to wait to purchase another bottle, at some point in the future. I'm wearing Armani Code Cashmere today in honor of Armani Code. That's a flanker that has a nutty accord, a beautiful almond in it. But yeah, may my bottle rest in peace. It was a huge win for the couple of seconds that I knew it. It's with God. It's with the angels now. So here's an example of a fragrance that I sampled and I just knew I would love. I have it now, and I would say it's a like, but not a love. Okay, so let's talk. It's Stilettos on Lex. Love that name. What a great name. By Jules Maud. A fragrance that I would say is clean and crisp smelling. It's a little musky, has a little bit of woodiness. It's a very airy kind of a fragrance. I love the way it opens. It opens super promising. You're like, yeah, I got my stuff together. I smell clean and fresh and a little floral, a little, like I said, musky, but also like light and bright at the same time. And it settles in the middle into a little bit more woody of a fragrance. And then deep in the dry down, it goes a little flat. So that's what I have to say about this fragrance. Had I known that, maybe I wouldn't have purchased a full bottle, but now that I have it, I'm going to continue to rock it here and there. I just know that this is a fragrance that I would enjoy for maybe half of a day, not one that I would spray on for an entire day, and definitely one of those fragrances that would be great for running errands, for days that you want to smell fresh and clean while you have a 4 to 6 hour thing to attend to. More than that, and you're going to get a little bit into that flat phase of this where it's just not as exciting of a fragrance, and so that's what I have to say about this. So I would say it's neither a win, but definitely not a fail, maybe somewhere in the middle. Stilettos on Lex. On the contrary though, a fragrance that I sampled and thought that's okay, but I don't understand what all the hype is about. And then I found it on sale and decided to go ahead and purchase it anyway against my sample judgment. Absolute Aphrodisiac by Initio. Y'all. And I've talked about this, I think, in one of the monthly awards. This one here, listen to me. Listen to me. Let me tell you something. Beautiful vanilla. If you're into a vanilla that has, I mean, the name is just right. Absolute Aphrodisiac. Very sexy vanilla. There's something in here that smells a little bit on the animalic side, but I'm talking about human animals. I'm not talking about animals in the wild animal. I'm talking about like when two humans are, you know, yeah, there's a little bit of that, like a hint of that. But this beautiful, deep, dark vanilla that's in here alongside of that. There's a castoreum note that's giving that animalic touch to this. But it's, look. You just have to try it on and give it a chance and you'll know. If you're not into notes that have any animalic lean at all, you might not be into this. But if you don't mind just like the right little hint of that to make it a sensual kind of experience, you might love this. I find this to be quite intoxicating once you spray it on and let it settle down. Had I just gone by the sample alone, which was like, okay, this is okay, I would not have purchased this bottle. So glad I found it on sale. It's now like a stunner in my collection. Like Stilettos on Lex, another fragrance that I purchased that I like, not a huge love kind of a thing, but I like it, and a great one, like an easy reach for when you want to smell clean, you're running errands, you're hanging out, white t-shirt and jeans, sort of a vibe. It's Lazy Sunday Morning from Maison Margiela. What you get in here is detergent. It's a really nice, clean detergent, like you get aldehydes, it's soapy, it just smells like fresh linens, freshly laundered linens laid out nicely on the bed. Everything smells fresh and clean. That's what you get here. Real simple that way, not complicated. So thumbs up. Not a huge love, not going to make a top 10 list, not going to make a top 100 list, but I like it. The next one is a hidden gem that I want to share with you all. You'll see it in future videos. It's not going to blow your socks off, blow your head off, knock your socks off, whatever the expressions are. It's called Le Monde Est Beau. Le Monde Est Beau, Le Monde Est Beau. This one from Kenzo. I remember trying this a while ago and didn't think I would ever find this again. I had a little mini of it and just really thought it was an interesting, very different fragrance. I don't have anything like this in my collection currently. What I would describe this as is if you've had freshly squeezed juice, like at a resort, or maybe you make some at home or something that has some cucumber in it, maybe a little watermelon, has a little bit of maybe other melons, a little strawberry, and it smells fresh and green in your mouth, and it makes your mouth water because it also has a little bit of tartness, even though it's also sweet, but green and fresh and all of those things at the same time. That's kind of what I get in here. It's lovely and unique in that way. It's like fresh dew off of the grass mixed with that smell in the air mixed with fresh juice. I really like this. Again, not one that I would reach for very often. You've kind of got to be in the mood for it. What an interesting little bottle design here. Maybe a little corny and tacky. I don't know, but it's cute in its kitschiness. So if you like a hidden gem, if you like a green, clean smelling fragrance, this would be one to try. Here's a fragrance that I sampled and I liked a lot, and then I purchased it and now I love it. So this was also courtesy of a family gift card, and I'm so glad because this is a pricey fragrance. So I was able to get it for under half off. It's Coccobello and it's Heeley. I think it's James Heeley. Here's the bottle. This is this fragrance, if you like a beachy coconut without all of the like suntan parts of things, here you go. It's a dry, like husky coconut with this beautiful, soft, I think there's a sandalwood in here that undergirds the entire fragrance. It's like a hammock underneath that dry, beautiful coconut with slight hints of ocean air. Maybe you get a little bit of hint of the sunblock that people are wearing kind of wafting up in the air, but it's not like a suntan lotion-y kind of a smell. I think this is very close to, like, if there's a masterpiece level and then there's like something right under that, like really beautiful or whatever, my words are escaping me, but it's like nesting right under that masterpiece tier. Really gorgeous. However, it's a little bit softer on the skin, a little bit of more of a subtle fragrance. Like this is not like Holidays from Mancera or the Mancera coconut fragrance. I'm forgetting what it's called right now. Not Coco Vanille. I don't think it's anything in that realm. This leans a little bit to the masculine direction, like unisex. This leans like two hints, two little tiny hopscotches into the masculine territory. Not way over here though. Very wearable, gorgeous. So huge love for this one. And I just have to say there's something about the subtleness of this that really appeals to me. It's like one of those fragrances. It doesn't have to scream to be beautiful. This is an example of that. Another recent big win, and I hope I pronounced this right because my husband told me how to pronounce it and I have probably forgotten. Lince from Tiziana Terenzi. That's what we're going to go with for this video. Ooh, this is everything that I wished Hypnotic Poison was. I had the Hypnotic Poison EDT. I certainly have smelled the old school formulation of Hypnotic Poison. Beautiful. The EDT I ended up selling. I liked it a lot. It was just so like soft and subtle that in the end it disappointed me more than it pleased me. This one is Hypnotic Poison on steroids. You got that beautiful vanillic powderiness that you get in Hypnotic Poison, plus some florals, plus this really interesting absinthe note, a little bit of woodiness, and just like a little tiny splash of spice. I adore this. Husband loves it on me. Total winner. I don't know what else to say. Yay. Okay, we got 6 more. Are you hanging in there? The next one is one I've been eyeballing for a long time. Glad I picked it up. I don't know that I would repurchase this one. It's Eau Dynamisante. Might have completely made up that pronunciation, from Clarins. I love the Clarins serum, the double-barreled serum. Amazing. But anyway, we're talking about this. So I think someone mentioned this. Is it Cheryl? Hi, Cheryl. I think it's Cheryl that mentioned this in my patchouli video that I should pick this up. But I've looked at this for a couple of years now because my understanding is that this was supposed to smell like Aveda, like the Aveda salon. And yes, it does. And for that reason, I really like it. Definitely gives me, if you're familiar with Aveda hair products, the Brilliant line, it's as close that I've gotten to the Brilliant Perfume without actually having the Brilliant Perfume, which I love. Aveda used to make that years ago. I don't think they make the Brilliant Perfume itself anymore. One of my favorite scents of all time. What does it smell like? Very shampoo-y, like an herbal shampoo, not a fruity, fresh shampoo, more like an herbal kind of earthy shampoo is what this smells like. So this one is one I admit I haven't worn a lot. I've sprayed it here and there. I need to go on and dedicate a full day to it. I like what I've smelled of it, but it's one of those smells that you have to be in the mood for because, like I said, it's in that like Aveda salon direction. If you've ever passed by an Aveda salon or stepped inside one, you know what I'm talking about. It's a really unique mixture of like essential oil, spa kinds of smells. You definitely get that in here. My sense of this is that the projection and longevity are going to be maybe on the weaker side, but I will test it out and let you know. For now, the smell is a win, and the performance piece is to be determined, and I wonder if it's going to live up to what I need. But in the meantime, glad that I purchased it. I think I got this for a very affordable $40-ish or something like that on FragranceNet. Then we go to a fragrance that I think I knew better than to purchase because the reviews were mixed. Something about the bottle just called to me, though, I have to just say, very shallow reason to purchase a fragrance from Xerjoff, Apollonia, like Apollo, Apollonia. So reviews on this were mixed. Some people really loved this and thought that it evoked what they thought it would smell like to be out on some dusty planet out in the universe somewhere. And then other people just thought that this was ordinary and weak. So I think I'm somewhere in that direction. I did do a full wear of this week. My husband did not care for this on me. I don't really know why. I don't find it to be an off-putting smell. It's not offensive. I don't dislike it. I actually wish that it was just stronger. This is an airy, musky, irisy fragrance, little bit of powderiness, but I find it faint. Maybe that's just me, and maybe I'm a little bit nose blind to something going on in here because I wore it, I would say 6 hours or so, and my husband still smelled it on me clearly after that, long after I thought it had faded. By the way, for a lot of you out there that are constantly like, my skin eats fragrances, whatever. Oftentimes you just kind of go nose blind to it, even though other people around you can smell it. So different for every person. Ask the folks in your vicinity, can they smell you before you decide that a fragrance has given up on you? I often think a fragrance has died and people around me can smell it just fine. Anyway, I wouldn't call this a fail, but I wouldn't call it a win. It's kind of a meh. And then a fragrance that I sampled and I really liked, but it's a controversial scent because it's such like a polarizing fragrance. I found it on sale. It was still stupid expensive, but I am glad that I got it. And it's Pikovaya Dama, also from Xerjoff. One of the strongest aldehydic fragrances that I have tried in a very long time. This puts Chanel No. 5 to shame in terms of being a strong aldehydic fragrance. It comes out of the gate with a 1-2 punch in your face, like boom, you are going to smell like soap. Nice soap. Super expensive soap. The best soap in the world soap. And then it starts to settle down and it gets a little softer and rounder and it's like a buttery soapiness kind of thing. I find this to be enormously elegant. I don't love this thing happening on the bottle. It's supposed to be some kind of, I don't know, gemstone. I don't care. I don't like it. The bottle shapes of Xerjoff are really nice in general, but this, I mean, this is a beautiful bottle. Okay. Anyway. That's beside the point. The fragrance is gorgeous, super strong, super potent. A spray or two will take you through the night. So if you want to smell your most elegant aldehydic self, it's like the upgraded version of white linen meets Chanel No. 5 times 10 times 10s of steroids. What am I saying? This is like Chanel No. 5 meets white linen with steroids times 10. That's what I was trying to say. And steroids? No, let me try that again. Boop. This is like Chanel No. 5 meets white linen on steroids with 10 times the aldehydes. I finally got it out. But yeah, not for everyone. Would not even advise you to try it if you don't like aldehydes. If you're into aldehydes, this is going to be your girl. Try her out. Another fragrance that I sampled a while back and thought smelled like stale bad breath. Now, I might have had a bad sample. And I kept being intrigued by it because I kept seeing it pop up as a loved fragrance for many. And I'm like, how is it that all these people love this fragrance and I don't? Got another sample of it, a fresher sample, kind of like that sample and thought I would take a chance. The bottle is gorgeous. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, the bottle really drew me in, as well as these descriptions of it being so freaking fabulous. So we're talking about the famous Greenwich Village from Bond No. 9. Beautiful turquoise bottle. Actually, it's not picking up well on camera. It looks blue. It's actually like a greenish blue in person. What I have to say about this fragrance, it reminds me a lot, not directly, but a lot of actually Escape from Calvin Klein. Remember that one? And I rock that fragrance a lot. It's got some nuances of that, but it also has an airiness, a fruitiness that I think is really fun. So I'm glad that I took a chance. I found it on super deep discount. Where did I get this? Oh, I'm remembering. It was the Perfume Spot. Theperfumespot.com. That's where I got this from. Anyway, really enjoy this. I'm glad that I gave this another chance and didn't just give up on that first sample that had obviously gone off a bit or just wasn't really representative of what this would smell like in person. This is a super duper fragrance. I'm really going to be enjoying this, and I really enjoy looking at this on my shelf. It's pretty. I'm going to end this video talking about two fragrances that have more than made the rounds here on YouTube. I'm kind of behind and I've been delaying talking about these for lots of reasons that I'll get into in some other video. These were both gifted to me. And so I just want to pause and say, sometimes when you see a specific fragrance being hyped up, oftentimes that has to do with one of two reasons. Maybe there's three or four, but let me just talk about two reasons. One, an influencer that's super popular purchased it, loved it, and raved about it. And then other people being curious who follow that influencer purchased it, and it's like a popcorn effect, right? And then you start hearing about it that way. The second way is that the brands themselves will send the bottle out as a gift to a bunch of influencers on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, etc., and give them the opportunity to review it on their channel page or whatever. Sometimes that's in exchange for a monetary compensation, like we will pay you this amount, please review this on your channel. Other times people are doing it for free. So we can talk about the ethics about that another time. I don't have any problems at all with people getting bottles to review. Why not? It's a way for the company to share the bottle out and get it out. But I just want you all to know, because sometimes people are like, why are we seeing 100 people talk about this? That's why. So these two bottles were sent to me. The first one is from Sora Dora. We saw Sora Dora as a company, as a brand rather, making the rounds for a while. And this is the now famous Mandorle. And with good reason. Of the two bottles, this is the one that I prefer more. I'll tell you about the other one in just a second. This is now on my husband's shelf. I find this to be a little bit past the unisex into the masculine territory, like just one hopscotch. If the one previous was two hopscotches, this is just one hopscotch. But look, y'all, this is, why can't I get this top off? Ooh. This is, to me, if I'm not looking up notes, right, and I'm just telling you what this smells like, it smells very much like a masculine version of a lost cherry. It's got a strong cherry accord. It's leathery. If I didn't know any better, I'd tell you there's something in here like a tobacco or boozy kind of a note. This is really, really lovely. It smells super good on my husband. I don't remember what the full retail price is on this because I didn't purchase it, but I do like it and I love when he wears it. So that's what I would say. This is not one that I would personally reach for a lot because I prefer other more feminine leaning cherry fragrances, but super duper nice one. Yes, it deserves the hype. And then another fragrance that was sent out to a lot of people around the same time as this one is from Nuit Nomade, and it's Jardins de Misfah. This is a nice fragrance. Really, I find it pleasant. If I'm not mistaken, one of the main notes featured is a date note. I will put something up here if I'm incorrect about that. This comes across as a soft, sweet, subtle, floral, sensual fragrance that's kind of nondescript in the sense that I can't, really pick out any particular notes that stand out. I think this is lovely. I would certainly wear this. I don't know that it is worthy of tremendous hype. That said, I wouldn't tell anyone not to purchase this. Of the two, I think this Mandorle is a more exciting fragrance. Aesthetically, I think this bottle is a lot more pleasing. It's just prettier. So both of these are really nice. This for a hubby is a great choice. And this one, if you like a subtle, sweet, gourmandy / floral fragrance, a beautiful choice. So that's what I have to say about both of these. Thank you to the brands for sending these out to me. Much appreciated. And that is my review of my blind buy purchases, gifts, fragrances I've sampled and then purchased a full bottle of. Hope you enjoyed. Would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me. Mwah! I'll see you in the next one. Take care, friends.